Easiest release. And we want to try to get two guys on the linebacker. Okay? So, normally what's going to happen is these four techniques will squeeze you really hard. Okay? If you try to release down inside like this, they're going to squeeze you, push you by. This guy scrapes over the top and you have dead play. Okay, so we're going to take the easiest release. The easiest release for us in this situation is to release outside.
Yeah, that's what Georgia Tech does too.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going outside like that. Okay, and then this guy's got a base block. Okay, so I may not be doing this in an order that's easiest to understand, but base block for us, talk about any lineman. If I say you have a base block, it's this progression here. 1, 2, 3, nearest most dangerous linebacker. Well, I should say this. ABC, nearest most dangerous linebacker. Okay? What is ABC is a substitute for each guy's individual numbers. Okay? So for the guard, his calls are 1, 2, or 3, depending on where the alignment is. 44, 5 there. Okay, so what I mean by that is ABC, inside shoulder, head up, outside shoulder. Okay, that's your responsibility. If there's nobody there, you're nearest most dangerous linebacker. Okay, so he's got a base rule right here. Okay, so he's nearest most dangerous linebacker on that front. Okay. Tackle's taking the easiest release. Okay, now we're going to read. When I say read, the quarterback is going to read the first guy 4 or wider. Okay, our course by a running back is we're aiming for the inside leg of the guard. Inside leg of the guard.
Let me just ask you a question while we're at this.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go ahead and call this what we normally call guys, but meaning, Navy calls that guy an A, and the two slots are B backs and so forth. I think Mark does the same thing. Well, just what do you do? What do you call that guy?
Georgia Tech calls them A backs and B backs.
Do you do that? Because I don't really want to. I want to call one of them H and one of them Z and do.
You honestly, don't be afraid to call them whatever you want.
Okay.
Because to me, it doesn't make sense. To me, okay, doesn't make sense to call these guys the same thing because my two guys do completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
I got one guy that can block better than the other, but he could still be a pitch man if he wants. And the other guy's not as physical, but he's a good pitch man. But I might want to put him in different places. And the reason I came up with that is, we were playing in a state championship game, and Walsh Jesuit had the #1 linebacker in Ohio. Okay, this guy right here for us was 6'10", 320 pounds. And then over here, I would either put, depending on the front, they didn't run this front, it was a 4-4. So our loop block came from the slot. So we put our guy that ended up being a captain nose guard at Michigan doing the load block right there. Okay? So that guy was getting hit by this guy and a guy that played at Michigan as a nose guard and was our captain. He made 0 plays the whole game. He got buried every single play.
What'd you do with the tackle?
Well, I'm the only reason I'm saying that is because that was a 4-4. So,
So he had
okay, so it was like this. Okay, these two guys came here, and the tackle came down, and this guy came around here like that.
So, is that Bowman? Grant Bowman?
Grant Bowman.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point is this. That's when I decided that sometimes I want that slot, when we're an ace, I want that slot to be a guy that can lay the wood on somebody. And everybody's got one back that might be a little more little stronger than the other guys.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So we might say, that's why when I said at the beginning, we might say ace right or ace left. That just tells my guy, okay, Peter Griffith, you go to the right when it's ace right.
Okay, so now, so let me ask you this, well, okay, so ace right, ace left. What is in your opinion, the better way to do that as opposed to, for example, instead of having Grant Bowman play to play slot back there, you could have had him play tight end. Why, do you like tight end better than a slot back? Because it limits your ability to pitch the other way.
Well, he was athletic. He could run.
Yeah.
He was a big guy that could run. So I didn't really worry about it too much. And the other thing is, he was such a good player, I didn't care if they knew we were running there. I didn't care. He was better than everybody else he played. Now, I'm not in that situation now, but everybody has somebody that's better than somebody else.
Sure.
And maybe there's certain rules. So you got to see what fits your personnel. If they're equal, then you can call them both A-backs if you want.
But, I could see this being, no, so, okay, great, this is fantastic, okay, keep going.
Okay, so anyway, I changed up the defensive look here just to make a point, but we're trying to get two guys on the linebacker. Here's what we're trying to do, okay? We're trying to have one guy blocking underneath on the no mic for the dive, and one guy blocking the no mic from the side for the quarterback keep. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay, so if this guy comes down, okay, to the mesh, and our quarterback pulls it out, okay, we know that he's getting blocked right there. If this guy runs over here, our guy just keeps going. Second level, third level, touchdown, go have a party in the end zone, okay? If this guy fills real hard, then our guy is going to go try, well, usually this safety's in here somewhere. If he sees him just step real hard right there, he's going to try to, he's going to try to disrupt the safety. Now, what we want to do is make that safety run underneath us so that he's chasing the play. Okay, that's hard to do. That's a little bit more advanced, but as you go, you can get that kind of thing taken care of. Okay? All right, now, just to keep things simple, we're just going to go ahead and I'm not going to keep it simple because that's not the best way to do it. Got too many lines drawn up here. Okay, I always put a circle around the dive read,
Okay.
and I put a triangle around the pitch read. That's how our guys know.
I do that too.
Okay? So we're going here, okay? And then this guy is this A-back or whatever you want to call him, H-back, I don't care what you call him, okay? He's against the 7-man front. Basically, when there's two safeties, 7-man front, he's going to open up and look at his receiver, okay? If this guy's playing with outside leverage like in cover 2, he's going to come off the ball the same way, first 4 steps, and he's breaking it off to the safety, okay? If he breaks it off to the safety, he's going to go blast this corner, knock him into the cheap seats right there, okay? So that's the first scenario. Okay, if this corner is playing press, inside leverage, then we're gonna come up, hit him and swim over the top and run him off. He's got to turn his shoulders and run with us. We're gonna eliminate him out of the play. And our guy, seeing that, will now go up, take the safety. I call this trail blocking. I don't know if anyone else calls it that. I don't remember where it came from. Okay? And then the third thing that can happen, which actually happens most often, is if this guy bails, like a cover 3, okay, then we're gonna stalk him and he goes there. That make sense?
Yep.
Okay?
So essentially, the slot back's reading
What the number 1 receiver does.
Yeah.
Okay? So, okay, now, this is real important.
So when you practice that in individual, that you just practice it and read it. I mean, just different ways, different times.
They can practice it in individual. You know, the coach can have it set up so the defensive kid knows whether he's going to press, bail. Some of it's not obvious till the play starts. You know, they might try to disguise it or whatever. So basically, they're going to come off the ball the same way all the time, but they should know after the first couple steps, you know, whether they're going to stalk them, run them off, or crack. That way you always have the best of blocking.
It's great.
Now, Brian White doesn't like it. He wants to keep things simple, and he just wants to block the guy. Okay? But here's what, what's his name from Georgia Tech?
Johnson.
Yeah. He says this guy's rule is block the deep defender. Okay? So if it's cover 2, he's doing the same thing our guy does. If it's cover 3, he's doing the same thing our guy does. If it's cover 1, he may go ahead and go to the safety thinking that this guy's going to go ahead and run with him if it's man to man, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I just always taught it this way. So, but their rule is block the deep defender. You can do it however you want. You can do it the way I say, the way he says, or the way Brian White says. Doesn't matter. Okay?
Okay.
Whatever you want to do. You could do it trail blocking 1 week, stock blocking the next. Okay? Block the deep defender the 3rd week. And it doesn't. There's no really right way to do it. Okay? But we're trying to get 2 guys on linebacker. We're also trying to have double teams at the point of attack. Trying to keep things simple on the backside. So let's talk about alignments.
Is the hardest thing for the guard to scoop the 0?
No.
I mean, when
It's
that
not hard at all. It's
when
hard for a big
when I
dumpy
coached
kid to do.
when I coached nose guys at when I did. If that center were to go like this, we're reading his head from a 0, and we're going to come this way pretty hard.
I'm not following
I'm simply saying that as the center goes to the nose guard's left,
you. Okay.
if he's reading his helmet, he's going to go with him pretty hard that way,
Okay.
which is going to make that left guard's block.
Okay, here's
really
what I'm going to go back to what I said before, okay? If his knee's not in the hole, so he steps here and he flows real hard with it. If his knee's not in the hole, he's getting vertical right now. If his knee's in the hole, we're staying under him.
Okay,
So you
which
might
knee,
have to.
which knee in which hole? I want to maybe.
Okay,
that's
so I'm
better.
the nose, okay? Here's the center, just like this,
Right.
okay? The center starts to go that way, so I go that way. Okay, there's nobody in the hole right there, okay? Okay, let's say the center goes this way and I'm here, my knee's in the hole, I'm staying on it. Now, the only difference is, okay, your guy might have to be the kind of kid that can get up from a scramble, because we're throwing our weight out over our shoulders when we pivot crossover. Okay? Get up from a scramble and get vertical. But you also got to notice on this side, our tackles lead stepping and running too. Okay?
Right, and he could conceivably.
Okay, so years ago, we used to double team back on the nose. Actually, it turned out to be a triple team. We would scoop the nose, and we would take our guard and block here, and we would release inside with our tackle here to the linebacker. But we come up a man short out here. If that guy wanted to scrape, he would scrape. So when we went to OU and they were running Air Force stuff, they said, we're just going to scoop here, and we're going to block base and loop with this guy, okay? So I was like, that's awesome. That's the best thing I ever heard. We don't have to double team? No. You don't want to double team. Okay, so we go back and practice. We couldn't block the guy. Couldn't block the zero technique to save ourselves. So I called back up and I said, I don't know. I must have missed something. He goes, well, I don't know, but try this. He said, we just tell our center when he's stepping that you're just going to get in a bear crawl and bear crawl at a 45-degree angle. So you're going to take that flat step 12 inches past the center and bear crawl. Now, I always put my best player at center. Okay? So I had some pretty good centers over the time. And so we had guys that could get in a bear crawl and then get back up. If the nose was going backside, we could get back up and meet that backside linebacker. Okay, but the nose never got around us once we did the bear crawl. Now
So
this
you-
year we
you
didn't
go-
even
you
try
go
the bear
flat
crawl.
step or 45. You
We want to go 12. We want to step 12 inches past. So
You flat, but
so,
flat.
So let's say this is 12 inches past right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I step right here, I'm not stepping for 12 inches past. Okay. I need to step here first. I need to step here, and I'm not stepping 12 inches. I'm only getting a 3 to 6 inch step, and then I'm going flat again, and then then I'll be in my bear crawl or whatever. Okay, so that if you're having trouble getting the nose, I would just put it in a bear crawl. You know what I'm saying?
I really do.
Okay, so, another reason why we do a pivot crossover, not a lead step. Like we could try to lead step and dive over here, but if you look at this, okay, I'm backside guard now, and I'm trying to get that nose. If I lead step and I go down here like this, I'm right there by the light plug, right? If I pivot crossover and go here,